Who is a family relations of someone who's in the MIS? Anybody? Quite a few? Great. And who knows about their father's or mother's history in the MIS? Few, right. When we go into that too, what were the challenges for you as filmmakers in approaching the MIS?
I'd like to say, believe it or not, we had to cut out some of the funny parts. And the challenge for me was when we were shooting, I thought, how are we going to, these guys are boring. I mean, I didn't mean it that way, but they don't have a lot of, it didn't seem at the time they had a lot of personality, but then when you look back at the footage, there's gold in there. It just took a long time to find. And we didn't think that they would talk to us, but it was no problem. I think we just found the right people that were willing to talk.
I got my own here. No, I think the biggest challenge was when we started this, they were like 91, 92 years old already. And a lot of the ones we wanted to talk to weren't around anymore, but we knew we had the basic few that we could start with, and we thought, let's just kind of tell their lives. So it wasn't trying to be an inclusive, let's get every aspect of MIS, which you can't really do anyway. So we just wanted to focus on a few characters. In fact, one of the characters that we wanted to do, and we actually did shoot something with him, but he was like really bad Alzheimer's, so we couldn't really use him. But that's the kind of thing we knew we were dealing with. It was really the last years of some of these guys' lives. So it's really what the story is about.
I know you started this before the Congressional Gold Medal, which was awarded in, 2010. So the ceremony was 2011. And what made you get into doing this project in the first place?
Well, Bill called me. Well, Bill and I are cousins. He lives in Michigan, I live in Minnesota. And so I've done some work with Twin Cities JACL, and they're real involved with Fort Snelling. We have a really good partnership with Fort Snelling now. We've been doing a lot of outreach through them. So Bill called me one day and said, have you ever heard of this guy named Seiki Oshiro? He lives in Burnsville, Minnesota. I said, no. And he said, he's putting together this list of all the military intelligence service veterans that attended the school. And so I called him up and I went and talked to him and talked to Bill, and we decided it was going to make a good story. And that's the ultimate reason why we did it. Not, it was because we thought it would be a good story.
And Bill, how did you get into the subject then?
Well, we thought, we did that one project, kind of like the precursor to what we saw earlier today with some Japanese Americans who had been in camps in Minneapolis. And we thought, well, we're kind of getting that down. The big thing is the MIS school. And I had already done a documentary about World War II that I thought I was done with that. But this one was just, it's really about what these guys are doing today with what I was really interested in. And what we found with every one of them was really those formative years of those lives was like 1941 to 45. And that's what they were still thinking about in their last years, other than maybe not being able to drive anymore. So we went at it that way, and we knew what the basis of the registry as a list. It was kind of the, what do you want to call it, the kind of the conceit, the gimmick that we could tie it all together with.
Lead into.
Bill's good at Googling too. So that's how he found it.
Oh, good. Are there any questions? Yes. Take some questions.
So I heard the
Stand up, please.
I love this film, and I love the personalities that came out of all the men. But my question is, the number 7,000 is mentioned by Seiki. And so how many of those affiliated with, say, the Navy, you know, because they were considered TDY and lost to history, how many of those do you think there are? Or do you have an estimate for the total number of MIS?
Well, we have a list from the, I guess, the registry that is up to 13,000, but we included, and then this is part of their research too, we included it from 1941, which includes the first class. What's not in the film is the actually original first class, which started in the Presidio of San Francisco. That was the first 60. And then we extended it to include the, 1952, which includes the MIS who served in the Korean War, because as they were in Japan, the Korean War started brewing, and because of their linguistic skills of speaking Japanese, as Koreans also spoke Japanese, their linguist skills were used as well. But that also includes all the instructors from the Navy school in Colorado, the WACs.
Michigan.
Yeah, and Michigan, right, Michigan, Caucasian soldiers, non-Japanese soldiers as well. So I guess if you counted all the Nikkei soldiers, I think his number is close to 7,000. But there is a list of 13,000 that is, accessible online. Yes, there's one over here, one in the back.
Rosalyn, would you tell people about the exhibit out at the Presidio?
Oh, well, there's several exhibits at the Presidio going on. We do have an interpretive center called the Military Intelligence Service Historic Learning Center, which is the original site of the first language school. Inside there is a story of the first class and what made them tick, and also about the incarceration experience. And the list of the 13,000 names that we have an honor wall too. They're permanent exhibits there. And there's other exhibits going on called, and then they came for me, which is at the Presidio's Futures Without Violence building, and the Presidio itself, the Officers Club, has one on the Executive Order 9066. So that the Presidio is where sort of the headquarters where DeWitt was, instructed to, implement his orders to exclude and eventually intern, the 120,000 Japanese Americans along the West Coast. There's a question back there.
Hi, is the registry publicly available? How can we get a copy?
Is
it online?
Yeah.
It's on, if you're on Facebook, it's on our Facebook page, the Registry 1941. There's an older version that's online too, if you just Google the Registry Seiki Oshiro.
So, just to clarify, not the film, but the actual list.
Yeah, that's the list. It's a PDF of the Excel sheet.
Yeah, and I know that the Japanese American Veterans Association of DC, Java.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking
right,
about.
Right, and we've been asked to update it. We noticed that some people are not on there. We know that they're part of the MIS. Sometimes if they're involved in other missions or CIA kind of activity, their records were expunged. So we know it's not complete. And also it just lists names, last name, first name. I don't know if does it list the serial number and all that stuff, other stuff that he had on his computer? It's limited, so so it would have the first name, last name, and sometimes perhaps their serial number. But we could help in that if you're interested.
And Seiki is still working on it. So it's been 18 years he's been working on it. He's gotten a lot of support from his daughters. One of them is here. Becky, are you here? Thank you for coming. Yes, he's right there. So, it's really good to see that because they know, even though Seiki is, he's a computer guy, as he calls himself, but computers are.
He used to be a computer guy.
Yeah.
He's not a database guy.
Yeah, and so now he has experts working with him.
Well, what's amazing is that I think it's still on an Excel spreadsheet. And so for those of you who are computer guys, it's kind of dangerous. so don't delete.
Yeah.
But let's see. But I mean, I was impressed. I had the pleasure of knowing. I talking to Seiki. He doesn't want to meet me, but talking to Seiki on the phone. But then also meeting Grant and Roy Matsumoto and actually essentially growing up with the MIS guys through my work at the Historical Society. But they are incredible people who. They have wonderful stories that need to be asked about, and everyone has a very different story. But it's remarkable that he has put together this list because it gives you a window to some of these stories, at least the beginning.
I'm surprised Seiki talked to you on the phone because he only called Grant once in all the years that he worked with him. Everything was by email.
You have this is a wonderful breakthrough that you have an actual movie, and his personality comes out. It's a wonderful tribute to him. And thank you for coming with his daughter Becky. So get to know him through you, I hope. Okay, we have about 5 minutes. Are there any questions? Any more questions? Yes, in the back.
Is this available on DVD or PBS?
This is a CAM partially funded project, which you might know about here in San Francisco. We thought it would be on PBS last year. It might be on this year. We're waiting to hear. They will let you know. It's working. They've had a lot of personnel changes at PBS in Arlington, Virginia, so it's kind of hanging it up. But we'll know soon. Then we can make DVDs. I think that's what the deal is.
That's great. There's a planned opening of the National U.S. Army Museum in next year, 2020, and we hope we can recommend this to be shown to a broader audience. There will be a section on the MIS 442 and the 100th that will be inside that new museum. So that's a wonderful tribute to them.
I wanted to
yes.
give a little update on the film too. Unfortunately, Vicky Oshiro passed away last year, and Grant Ichikawa passed away a year ago, December. His burial was this past December. That's how backed up they are at Arlington. So we wanted this screening in Grant and Vicky's memory.
Be able to see the.
He didn't see
the film
he
before
didn't see the final. Did
He might not have seen the final one, but this has been kind of brewing in various forms for a version like this was probably around a couple of years ago, and I think he probably saw that one.
I think another person who worked on the registry was also Paul Tonai, because it was who's originally from here and he lives back east, but he was the one who introduced me to the list that they were working on, and was very willing to, hand over this valuable data, and wanted to pass that on so that it could be, shared with the rest of the public. So with that list, we were able to create the honor wall list that we have at the MIS Center. So.
And that's why, and Grant says that that's why they created the list, so it could be shared for their descendants, so that they would have some information about their parents.
Questions? Any more questions? Okay, we're going to be wrapping up, and feel free to talk some more with the filmmakers. Thank you very much.
Yes.